This is a review for your Chapter 1 test. So the first problem says each copy of a book costs $18 and shipping is $9 per order. So we know that each copy is $18 and then it's going to cost $9 for shipping. We need to write an equation to find the total cost. So we're not going to have to pay shipping per book. That's just per order. So we know that that's just going to be a one-time fee per order. So it's going to be 9 plus, and then we know each copy of a book is $18. Each is multiplication. So I'm going to write this as 18x. 18 times however many books we're going to buy. Letter B says make a function table for 1, 2, 5, and 8 books. So here we're going to make a function table. Those are that's a 3-column table where we have our input, our output, and our rule in the middle. I'm going to rewrite this with my variable and number first, 18x plus 9. Then I'm going to fill in for x 1, 2, 5, and 8 because those are the amount of books that we're going to solve for. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the first x into my variable of x. So I have 18 times 1 plus 9. Well, 18 times 1 is 18, plus 9 is 27. So if I buy one book, it's going to cost me $27. If I buy 2 books, I'm going to plug in a 2 for x. 18 times 2 is 36, plus 9 is 35. So if I buy 2 books, it's going to cost $35. Then if I buy 5 books, I'm going to take 18 times 5 plus 9. 18 times 5, I'm going to do off to the side here. I know 8 times 5 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. So 18 times 5 is 90 plus 9 will give me 99. And then lastly, if I buy 8 books, I'm going to plug in an 8 for x. 18 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64, so I bring down my 4, carry my 6. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 6 is 14. So that's going to get me 144 plus 9 gives me 153. So if I buy 8 books, it's going to cost me $153. This next problem says to graph each ordered pair on the coordinate plane. So remember when we're graphing ordered pairs, we always graph our x and our y. Our x is going to be how far left or right we have to go, and our y is up or down. In this case, all of them are positive, so it's going to be to the right and up. So for letter A, we go to the right 2, up 5, plot our point. And because we know that it's letter A, we have to label that point. Letter B is 3, 0, which means we're going to go to the right 3, up 0, and label that as B. And then letter C is 0, 1. So we go to the right 0, so we stay at 0, go up 1, plot our point, and label. Then we have to write the ordered pairs for point A and point H. So I'm going to find point A, I'm going to find point H, and we'll start with A. So remember our x is how far right we have to go, and then our y is going to be how far up we have to go. So in this case, we have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to A. And we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our ordered pair is 4, 7. For letter H, we have to go over 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be our x value. And we don't have to go up at all. So that's actually going to be 0. Remember, ordered pairs always have to have parentheses and a comma in the middle. The next problem says to evaluate when A is 3, B is 5, and C is 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in those values into these variables. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4, and then in brackets, 9 minus 3 plus 5. Then I'm going to use order of operations, PEMDAS, to solve. If it will let me write on here. There we go. First step is parentheses. So we have brackets, and then inside the brackets we have parentheses. So I'm going to start with that. 9 minus 3, which is 6. And then I'm going to fill in the rest. And now those brackets are really another set of parentheses, so I need to solve what's in those first. So 6 plus 5 is 11. And then I still have this 4 on the outside. Whenever we have a 4 and then something in brackets by itself, that's really multiplication. So this would be 4 times 11, which is 44. And then I circle or box my answer. This says give the variable expression for the product of 8 and a number. So we know product is multiplication, and then we have this number 8, and then our number, we don't know what that is, so that's going to be our variable. So I'm going to write this as 8 times x. And whenever we have just a number and a variable, we can write them right next to each other because that also represents multiplication. So this would be 8x. The number of girls at a camp is 6 less than twice the number of boys. Write an equation to find the number of girls. So we know that we have a 6. We know that less than is subtraction, but it also means that we have to flip the order. And then to write twice the number of boys, we're going to write that as 2x, because that's twice the number of boys, and then minus 6, because remember, less than means we flip the order. Then it says make a function table to graph the number of girls for 8, 12, 20, and 23 boys. So my function table is going to be my x, my y, and my rule, which is 2x minus 6. Our x here is representing our boys, and our y's is representing our girls. So we know that there's 8, 12, 20, and 23 boys. I'm going to fill that in for x. And then I'm just going to plug them into my rule and solve for y. So I have 2 times 8 minus 6. 2 times 8 is 16 minus 6 is 10. So my ordered pair for that one would be 8 comma 10. Because remember, it's always x, then y. So when there's 8 boys, there's 10 girls. Then when I find 12, I plug in 12 for x. 2 times 12 is 24. Minus 6 is 18. So when there's 12 boys, there's 18 girls. Then I can plug in 20. 2 times 20 is 40. Minus 6 is 34. So when there's 20 boys, there's 34 girls. And then lastly, 23. 2 times 23 is going to give me 46. Minus 6 is 40. So when there's 23 boys, there is 40 girls. And now I have to graph these ordered pairs. So we have 8, 10. So I go to the right 8, up 10, plot my point. 12, 18, to the right 12, up 18, plot my point. 20, 34, to the right 20, up 34, plot my point. And 23, 40. I go to the right 23, up 40, plot my point. These next 2 problems say to evaluate. So we're going to use our order of operations, PEMDAS, to solve. So for the first one, I look for parentheses, nope. Exponents, nope. Multiplication, yes. So I have to do that first. 3 times 5 is 15. So then I'm going to bring down my 18 minus and plus 2. So now I have both subtraction and addition. Whenever I have both subtraction and addition or multiplication and division, I work left to right. So I'm going to do the subtraction first. 18 minus 15 leaves me with 3. And then I have plus 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. Circle or box your answer. Next one here, parentheses, nope. Exponents, no. Multiplication, yes, but I also have division. Whenever there's multiplication and division both, we work from left to right. So I actually have to do this division first. 63 divided by 9 is 7. And then we have plus 7 times 8. Now I have addition and multiplication. I know that multiplication comes before addition, so I'm going to do that first. 7 times 8 is 56, and I'll bring down that plus 7. Then I just add these together. 56 plus 7 is 63. Circle or box your answer. Then we have to give the variable expression for 8 less than a number. So I have the number 8. We know that our number is going to be our variable, x. And then less than is subtraction, but less than means we flip the order. So instead of 8 minus x, we write this as x minus 8. Evaluate when s is 5 and t is 3. So I'm going to rewrite this with plugging in the variables for their numbers. So 4 times t is 3 over, and then s is 5 minus 3. It doesn't matter if we do the top or bottom first, but we have to do them separately. So I'm going to start with the top. 4 times 3 is 12. And then the bottom, 5 minus 3, is 2. So we have 12 over 2. That's really a division bar there. So it's 12 divided by 2, which is 6. This one says give the variable expression for the quotient of a number and 3. So we have our number 3. We know our number is going to be our variable of x, and quotient means division. So I'm just going to write this left to right. So we have x divided by 3, and then you circle or box your answer. The perimeter of a square is 4 times the length of one side of the square. Write an equation to find the perimeter of a square for any side length. So here I see 4 times the length of one side. So 4 times, well, times is multiplication. We don't know the length of one side. That's going to be our x. And then we have our number 4. So we can write this as 4x as our equation. Then it says to make a function table to find the perimeter of a square with side length of 2, 4, and 7. So I'm going to make my 3 columns here, my input, my rule, and my output. I know my input is going to be this 2, 4, and 7, so I'm going to plug those in for x here. And then I'm going to substitute those numbers into x in my rule and solve for y. So 4 times 2, which is 8. So when one length is 2, my perimeter is 8. Then I'm going to plug in 4. When one length is 4, my perimeter is 4 times 4, 16. Then I'm going to plug in 7. When one side is 7, my perimeter is 4 times 7, which is 28. Alicia rented bowling shoes for $3 and played 4 games at $2 each. Write and evaluate an expression for the total cost of bowling. So she rented bowling shoes for $3. She only has to pay that one time. And then she played 4 games that each cost $2. We know each is multiplication. We know and is addition. So I'm going to write this as 3 plus, because it's the $3 for the shoes, plus 4 games at $2 each. So 4 times 2. Then to solve, we have to use PEMDAS, so we know multiplication comes first. 4 times 2 is 8, and then I bring down my plus 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. And then it says we're finding the total cost. So we know it's 11, but since it's a word problem, we have to write this in a sentence. So I'm going to write this as she spent $11 bowling. Last problem here. It's another order of operations problem. So we use PEMDAS. We look first to see, is there parentheses? Yes, we have two sets, we have brackets, so we're going to do everything in the brackets first. But inside the brackets, we also have another set of parentheses. 3 times 7, which is 21. And then I'm going to drop everything down. And then inside the brackets, I have subtraction. So 21 minus 21 is 0. And then I bring down my plus 6. 0 plus 6 is 6.